Hello everyone, it's Oliver Harper here, and I'm back again with Brad Watson to continue the Joe Dante series of commentaries. How you doing, Brad?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. It's bloody boiling.
It's hot, isn't it?
We're doing this very early in the morning before it gets too hot, and it already is starting to get too warm. If you wish to sync up the commentary with your own copy of the film, put the timestamp to 0 and press play now.
There we go.
I didn't see this film when it came out. It was very much years later I actually caught this movie. I think it was either I got like a job lot of Laserdiscs or something. I saw like a collector's fair, but I saw Matinee on Laserdisc, and I was like Joe Dante. I'd heard little whisperings that it was this kind of underrated gem, and as soon as I put it on, and then you saw, the bit that really kind of made me roar out loud with laughter was seeing the Mant commercial.
Matt, it's so good. I mean, this opening is fantastic. To open it with John Goodman playing Lawrence Wolsey promoting his film is perfect. This film is totally an underrated gem. I mean, anyone that hasn't seen this movie should see. Anyone that has any love for cinema has to watch this movie. I think it's one of the greatest love letters to cinema ever created. It's just wonderful. It's
Joe Dante at kind of his fullest with his love for the B movies of the 50s.
Absolutely. It's just pure. I mean, look at that shot of that cameraman. It's like,
right,
it's so well done.
Because he's supposed to be like a mix of Hitchcock and is it William Castle?
Yeah, William Castle. Yeah, who famously put buzzers in seats and things.
That's right.
But, yeah.
Apparently, John Goodman, he was the first choice to play this character, and they had. I don't think they screen tested anyone else. No. And John Goodman knew who the character was kind of based on, and he was just like, he didn't need any direction at all.
It's a perfect fit, isn't it?
Yeah, because he always fits that kind of sort of movie producer kind of look.
No, absolutely. But he totally gets the cornball humor as well of how to make this feel authentic yet also a piss take at the same time, and it's fantastic.
A Tomo vision, and things like that.
My favorite thing coming up is when he says based on scientific fact in waves these magazines by that you don't get a chance to have a look at what they are. It's so good. But I mean, this is obviously Joe Dante's childhood right here. This is him
because the main character, he's kind of based around Joe Dante and his kind of experiences as a kid and all that. When you here we go. Yeah. It's like a dinosaur on the front cover, I think. You see the kid's bedroom and all these little drawings and sketches. They're all Joe's when he was a kid.
It's just I love the way this cinema is lit. It just the atmosphere that it creates.
As a projectionist, I'll say those house lights are a little bit
they're very, very high.
Very high. I would reduce that a little bit.
Yeah. I love all these old movies, but the fact is that back in these days, the actual quality of the presentation was pretty bad. So I wouldn't be surprised if the house lights were up, and so people could get up and go and buy more popcorn, easily and things like that. But it was all part of the fun. Whereas now we're like obsessed with the I'm constantly moaning at my cinema when there's too much light leaking onto the screen. I've written countless emails to Cineworld.
Oh no, one of those whinging.
I'm
customers.
one of those. Yep. But I think I've got the lights turned down though, because they started getting turned down. The safety lights, probably breaking health and safety now, but it doesn't matter. I can see the picture better. It's just
grabbing us.
Yeah, and then just the sudden cut into this preview engagement film, and then when we cut to the outside and Jerry Goldsmith pops in, and suddenly you're like, we're in a Joe Dante movie. It just feels.
Because you've got these kind of two plots, haven't you? The main plot is about this, obviously, the kid's obsession with horror movies, and he wants to experience this new Tomovision kind of scary ant movie. And in the background, you've got this threat of nuclear war.
The Cuban Missile Crisis is going on.
So it opens and ends with that kind of threat.
Yeah.
And This is because when you're looking at it, you think, oh, this is the 50s, but it's set in 1962, isn't it, with the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yep.
But it's that crossover, isn't it? Because things don't just suddenly go.
Exactly.
Now, fashion's going to change.
Well, exactly. Again, this is such an accurate. Where we talk about, we've talked about a lot of movies made nowadays that are set in the 80s, and they'll be set in a period of the 80s where those of us that know it are like, well, no, that's not. It wasn't like that then. You were practically the 90s then, and things like that. There is no. The decades don't suddenly change when it becomes 1980 or 1960.
If you look at like early 90s, people were just wearing really ridiculous clothes that came from the 80s.
Well, I think that another movie that's set in a similar time period, where it's actually in the 60s but it feels the 50s, is Dirty Dancing, and that's a movie that I think is very. That I think the period setting of that is really authentic until the 80s ballads start up. Once the 80s ballads start, you're like you've just ruined it. You've done a really good job of making this feel authentic, and then suddenly, she's like the wind comes in. But yeah, So this is all set in Florida.
Yes, because they're obviously very close to the actual.
Cuba's just down the.
Because obviously the
water.
The kids all have problems with trying to settle into new schools. They're constantly changing military bases.
Absolutely. And
this one, I think it implies that he's going to be here for a couple of years. So, but you never see the father.
No,
I think no. So because I thought maybe he pops back at the end, but he didn't. Obviously.
Yeah. No, you never see him.
You never see him. Yeah.
Which is great. I love it. He's just this kind of almost mythical figure, and it's just his dad. He's just out on doing his job, but. For a kid at this age, he's everything.
Because Joe Dante was obsessed with going to cinema as a kid, watching the matinee screenings every Saturday. It would have been.
Yep.
So you pay your how much it was, probably like 30p, the equivalent of, to see a bunch of movies. And he said that some will be rubbish, some will be good. Just have to sort of you never know what they're going to show.
Yep.
I'm sure some cinemas pre-listed what they were going to show the kids, but
yeah. I mean, and he carried on. I mean, I saw I was at a Q&A with John Landis a few years ago, and John Landis was talking about how even into way into their adulthood, him and Joe Dante would go and watch every single movie that was released. Like they'd go and see everything.
Really?
Like it was a thing that they would do together, and they would see every single movie. And there's one point where they were watching just something particularly bad, and they just turned to each other and went, "You know what? Life's too short. Let's stop doing this."
Joe Dante said that the film was Universal Pictures who'd funded most of the movie. I think Joe was kind of lied to by his producer who claimed they're going to get X amount of money to sort of fund this film.
Yeah.
And that never materialised, so Universal kind of stepped in because they'd already put some money in anyway.
Yeah.
And
they developed it, I think, didn't they?
And they let Joe do his thing.
Yeah.
They gave him creative control over it. And at the end, when they finished it, they were just like, "How are we going to market this movie?" They just didn't know how to sell it. They didn't. The producer execs at Universal said they didn't hate it and didn't love it, but it's just like, how do you sell this film?
Yeah.
And it's a similar scenario, I suppose, with Buckaroo Banzai. It's a film that even, I think, MGM or...
I have more sympathy with them for that, for not knowing how to sell that.
I think it was MGM were even asking Peter Weller, how are we going to sell this movie? And he's just like, I don't know. So with this, I mean, it's...
Well, I think this is... I mean,
easier to sell.
Yeah, no, I don't think this would have been that difficult to sell. I think that it was... I think we're looking now at the period where the marketing departments of the studios were becoming very unimaginative. I think with the case of like Buckaroo Banzai, they were marketing weird stuff in those days and making it work. I think Buckaroo Banzai was just particularly odd.
Yeah.
But this is I mean, if this probably come out in more the early 80s, I think they would have.
I think they would have found their market.
It would have been. It would have felt like probably a more of an event movie.
Yeah, because this is 94, isn't it, or 93?
Yeah, 90. What is it? Oh, so Gremlins 2 was 90, so it must be 92, maybe. Or am I going wrong? I'm trying to read I think I might need glasses. I'm trying to read the box and I can't find.
Give it here, Uncle Brad.
Yeah.
93.
93. There you go. So same year as Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so a lot of competition, but this is obviously a totally different kettle of fish.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's, if you look at the poster as well, it's got that B movie style. It's hand drawn image, and the Arrow Blu-ray is done by Graham Humphreys.
Yeah. My old mate Graham.
Yeah,
Bless him.
in the kid there, he does look a bit like the kid from the Wonder Years.
Yeah, he does. He knows. But one of the kids here went on to be in Erie, Indiana, didn't he? Joe Dante's TV show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's dealing with the sort of that sort of 50s theme and love of that cinema. It's still probably at that point a bit of a niche thing, where kids probably wouldn't be that enticed to see it. More of someone.
I don't think.
Reminiscing.
I don't think it's a kids' movie. I think it's not a movie for kids at all. I think it is a movie for older people who, not necessarily people who are kids at this time, but older people that can relate to being kids and dark things in the world going on whilst their lives are kind of innocent, and the most important thing going on for them is what movie's coming out, whereas the rest of the world is worried about being blown to smithereens. You know, that's a thing that most anyone that's grown up in the last sort of 60, 70 years can relate to, because there's always something going on. And as a kid, you're always like, you're going out on your bikes with your mates, and on the news there's something bad happening.
Because with the kids in this, they are just hanging out at a cinema.
Yeah.
And that's what Joe Dante kind of said, that his mates would often go to cinema with him, but Joe would find himself mostly going by himself, because he was this obsessiveness of the viewing experience. But even when this came out in '93, there still would have been cinemas in the USA, in the UK, that had just one screen, or a triple. There's many kind of, and the sort of that flea pit kind of feeling to it, where you see the cinema later on, where it's a little bit worse for wear in areas. Yeah. And that it still seem kind of reminiscent of what was going on in the early '90s with the cinemas that were just kind of
absolutely
hadn't been maintained properly.
This era, I just love this, the storm sort of approaching outside, and it's all on a set. That's just lovely. I think this period, the cinemas, particularly in the UK, were going through a transition. The big multiplexes were just coming in, and as you say, the flea pits were just not. They were on their way out, so they weren't really getting done up, and they were horrible, horrible places to go and watch things.
This is when Cannon had bought a lot of the cinemas, hadn't they?
Yeah,
and hadn't really properly maintained
the era of Cannon.
Yeah,
what a golden period that was. Yeah. My local cinema was an ABC, and then it was a Cannon.
Yeah, ours went ABC, Cannon, MGM. Then it was gone. Then it became the Weatherspoons Regal, and then the Picture Houses above it.
Mine became after Cannon it became a Robin Cinema, and then a Chinese restaurant, I think.
Oh no! Usually just get most of these cinemas that were just either one ginormous screen were often just converted into bingo halls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Particularly the older ones, like the Art Deco ones. There's some lovely buildings, some lovely cinema buildings that were then just turned into bingo halls, and that started happening, in the 60s and the 70s. These are big cinemas from the 40s and 50s, and then suddenly come the wonderful stylish 70s, they become bingo halls.
Yeah.
But the thing is that that flea pit cinema in Basildon was horrendous, and I was and I very quickly once I started leaving the nest of having to go with my parents all the time, and I started going into London, and then I started going to Leicester Square and the great big cinemas that we used to have there. I mean, they're disappearing now, which is really, really upsetting to me. I was like, I can't go back to that flea pit again. But I have so many memories, like this. My memories of with my schoolmates queuing up round the multi-story car park, to go in and watch Batman, or to go in and watch Roger Rabbit. There's so many wonderful memories associated with them as a kid, and that's what this taps into. It doesn't matter that the cinemas were rubbish and it was all sticky and horrible, and no one would shut up, and people were chucking popcorn around. It was now you just wouldn't be able to handle it. I was like, shut up. But now it's not. Now it's not quite so like that. It's just people putting their phones on. Yeah. Oh yeah. If someone's phone sparks up in the corner of my eye, I'm up and out and saying, if you don't put that off, I'm going to throw it away. But that's the thing is going to a cinema as a kid. It was a social event. It was about being social with your mates. And it wasn't until I was a little bit older that I then started, if I had nothing else to do and no one was around, but there was a movie out that I really wanted to see, I'd go and watch it on my own. Yeah. Because I was, I knew that I was into movies and I was obsessed with it.
I never tended to go by myself. I always went with someone. There's always a friend. We go at weekends and see something at the MGM. Usually, during that period, it was always like Star Trek Generations movie or Batman Forever and stuff like that. And Street Fighter. Yeah. And Spawn. God, I got some stinkers.
Spawn. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that lovely mid-90s period where
I love that. There's always one or two lads in the group who just be like slightly perfect. This is brilliant. It's the what you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's just all meat.
It's just red meat for breakfast, lunch, and 3 portions of meat.
Fucking hell, beef burger stuffed with cigarettes. That's what you want. This is brilliant as well, because the girl who protests about, this is not going to work. It's like one who has common sense. Her parents are like kind of like hippies.
Yeah.
And it is stupid. The kids have been lied to.
Yeah.
This nuclear bomb you're going to be protected by a nuclear bomb by just putting your head down.
By just crouching down.
It was something they spoofed later on at the time, during the 80s, when the threat was quite strong.
Yeah.
Where the young ones kind of just like started. Neil was painting paint on himself.
That's right. To deflect the blast. Yeah.
Yeah. The kid's like the constant bullshit of the group where he's just like, they wouldn't play. This wouldn't be the sound they'd play. It'd be a different sound,
Yeah, he's like thinks he knows everything.
Yeah,
but here she is. When they go, the teacher doesn't know what to do, and she's absolutely right.
Yeah, you just get blasted to smithereens, like boom.
Yeah,
it's like the perfect example of a nuclear attack is like Terminator 2. Just how decimated.
Oh,
everything.
That is so disturbing.
Yeah,
such disturbing imagery.
Just you'd burn up instantly.
Yeah, and that's the teeth. That's the teeth the Terminator movie should have.
Should be scary as fuck.
Yeah.
But the lad Simon Fenton, who's actually English.
He's
not American.
He's English,
and his accent is amazing.
It's
you
flawless.
Would not think he's British.
It's fantastic. He really is. He's fantastic in this. He carries it perfectly.
I thought to myself, what's he done recently? But he's done quite a lot of TV over the years. But he's also popped up in all the regular stuff like Casualty and things. But I was like, he's a bloody good actor.
Yeah.
It's a shame he didn't do more big movies later on.
Yeah. But she, the girl, she was in Independence Day, wasn't she? She went on to be in Independence Day.
Shit, yeah.
I think wasn't she in Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of the kids did quite well, as they got older.
Mm.
I suppose some of them probably had a better agent than the others, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Sometimes they just... The thing is, when you do make movies, especially if you're a kid, you can make movies and you could fall out of love with it very, very easily, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's not...
waiting around and things.
Because it is not as fun as you think it is. And if you haven't got the mentality for it, not, and I don't mean that disparagingly. It's just, if you're normal enough to not have the mentality for it, you're just like, what, this isn't worth it. It's great. I love that moment. He's sitting where he's not in on the conversation, and then suddenly they're talking about something he knows about.
Yeah, and he's like an expert.
Yeah,
and
suddenly,
and that's how a lot of kids kind of many made friends with other ones. Because
absolutely. You just
got
sort of
the odd one out, then suddenly you just click with some of
yeah,
them, and then it
suddenly they say something, and suddenly you become. That's exactly what I was like as a kid. Like all the kids around me, I was never, I was never massively into sports, and I was never massively into, modern pop culture or anything like that. I was just massively into movies, whether modern movies and old movies. And as soon as a conversation would strike up, they go, "Oh, Brad knows about this," and then in you come, and then suddenly, before you know it, you're talking to them all, and you're wowing everyone with your knowledge and getting your enthusiasm. It's about enthusiasm. I think everyone sort of responds to someone with enthusiasm when they're talking about something they love. And as a kid, that's how you kind of make your mark, and people go, "Oh, he's the guy that knows about movies. He's the guy that knows
that's
about."
how I sort of made friends with a lot of people. Was like I always sort of clung to people who are very knowledgeable about things.
Yeah.
Just a treasure trove of information. And
You used to, like at break times, you just sit on the steps, just gassing about anything.
Yeah.
Just getting to know life.
There's always a bunch of Euro friends who you get on with, but they're just their whole conversations generally at lunchtime, whatever, just be about bloody football. For fuck's sake, lads, come on.
Yeah. See, as a kid, I was never into football. I'm massively into it now, but as a kid, I wasn't into it. I sort of when I got I got much more into football after I moved to America for a bit, and I suddenly missed the British sports.
Yes, sir.
This is great.
Enjoy soccer.
Soccer. The wind comes on her hair. And
it's great. The music kicks in that sort of romantic melody.
Yeah.
It's the local bicycle.
Yep.
The tees of the school.
Yeah, totally.
Every school had a tease.
Oh, yeah. She does. There's a bit where she gives this little smile and the music comes up. It's really cool. He's 40.
That was good. That was good delivery.
I think this. That little bit there.
Because she's been dating a guy who's like, I don't know, maybe 5 years older than her. It's a bit sketchy.
I know.
Because he's just come out of prison. He went to, I think he went to prison for assault. Maybe I think it was.
Yeah.
But he got out because he was like a poet and stuff. He's a bit of a greaser, basically, isn't he? Yeah. And a bit of a plonker.
Yeah. She was that actress Kelly Martin, her name?
She's done really well.
She's done. She was in. I think she was in a lot of stuff at the time as well, on TV.
Loads of TV. She's still working. Because all the magazines as well, Gene has, like the monster magazines, they're all Joe Dante's.
Right.
And he said to himself, I kept all this stuff, one day I'll be able to use them. And that's what
Brilliant.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm keeping tons of these Starlog and
God.
Starburst magazines.
Yep.
Hey, kitty. I can use them at some point for some film. This is brilliant as well, because kids will listen to Lenny Bruce, even Richard Pryor, the 70s and stuff, where their parents would not allow them to listen to these albums,
Well, I was a little bit more hardcore. We'd listen to Derek and Clive, which I think if any of you know Derek and Clive, it's Peter Cook and Dudley Moore just basically getting drunk and saying the C word as much as possible.
Oh, yeah.
And we would always listen to that.
But you don't know who owns that album. Is it Gene's album? Or is that his dad's album of Lenny Bruce? Or is it his? Because he's put it in that bag.
Yeah.
But he doesn't take it with him, I don't think. So it could be his father's, the other lad.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. But, but it doesn't really matter, does it? They're together. They're mates now. I think there's a really good bit of score coming up where they go out, where we see the army. There's an amazing bit of Jerry Goldsmith music, the sort of trumpets, trombones.
I think even at this point where Joe was still getting a lot of creative control over his movies, despite the many flops he had, and not down to the quality of the movies. The movies were
because everyone knew he was a great director. Everyone knew he was good, and just and everyone knew that his movies were. Most of his movies must have, more long term.
Yeah,
This bit of score, I love it.
It's the Bud Light version of First Blood.
Yeah. Of course, the best Rambo parody music is what Jerry Goldsmith does in Gremlins 2.
Oh yeah.
With Gizmo doing his workouts, and then one of the greatest entrances in cinema history, where Gizmo suddenly pops the grate and he's standing there with his bandana. So good. So this would have been this would have been after Gremlins 2, wouldn't it? This would have been his
3 years afterwards. So it's probably shot in '92, wasn't it?
Because he did the Burbs. It was Burbs, then Gremlins 2, then this, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, what a time!
Whenever there's widespread panic when it's reported in the news, I'm sure my American listeners are probably aware of this. It's just this kind of panic buying where people just like go crazy fighting over creamed corn or something like that. It's just getting the last shredded wheat or cornflakes and stuff, and endless amounts of water, thinking there's going to be this huge attack or lack of whatever.
Yeah.
I've never seen this sort of panic buying in the UK. There's only with like a petrol shortage, people just literally run out and get as much petrol as possible. But that was years ago when there was a shortage of petrol.
I think the only time there was a bit of a panic was when the banks were crashing and people were trying to get their money out.
Yeah, Northern Rock or something.
Yeah. But I think, but what I love about this is the two kids are
really acting like adults.
Yeah, and they're finding it hilarious, and they're finding all these people really silly.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's not. But you can understand why people were panicking as well, because this threat was real. I mean, this was real. I mean, this was the closest we've come to nuclear Armageddon ever. I mean, we were literally, one night away from not waking up the next morning, and it was real. But the kids they're just still into their movies, still into what they want to do, and it's brilliant because if you look at it from a slightly, a commentary basis, it really is. It's like, why, adults do nothing but fuck the world up, whereas kids just want to enjoy the world. This is Naomi Watts'
first American feature.
That's right.
Film,
yeah. And
the photography here is sublime at capturing.
Brilliant, isn't
that
it?
Sort of 60s, like Audrey Hepburn kind of.
The big budget, sort of Disney, Herbie type.
Well, that's what Joe said. He was kind of spoofing because there'd be so many Disney films where some sort of inanimate object comes to life.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly, yeah. So that's Archie Han, who was in Gremlins 2 and a few other. And then
this would have been probably the Warner Brothers back lot. Do you think?
Could well be.
Yeah.
Shopping. And I love. So this is the big budget Disney movie, and the kids just like,
what is?
We don't want to watch this. This is just what rubbish. I want to watch Mutant Ants. Oh, here we go. There we've got a couple of people here. So that's Dick Miller and John Sayles.
What else was John Sayles? John
Sayles is a writer. He wrote Piranha and The Howling.
Right. Because I was thinking to myself, there must be another actor or someone that Joe knew.
I think he's been in other things, but really I think more as cameos than that. He's a director as well, but he was a writer. Came out. He wrote Battle Beyond the Stars. Came out of the Roger Corman camp with Joe Dante. Yeah, and wrote The Howling, and which Joe Dante directed after the Roger Corman years. But yeah, and of course we've got Dick Miller. Dick Miller's just
he's great in everything.
Yeah. He's getting on now, bless him. But
yeah, I mean, he looked very old at this point,
Yeah.
It's just the weathered years of there's too much sun and cigarettes.
Yeah. But he just sells it so well.
Oh, yeah.
This is great how suddenly Lawrence Wolsey just sort of turns up conveniently.
Yeah, and I love it because Gene is the only one who can clock on that.
Yes,
Dick Miller's character's worked.
That he knows these guys are. Yeah.
What do you think is the best moment in the movie? Because there's a scene coming up I think was really kind of captures the
the
love
speech
of cinema stuff.
where John Goodman
They're walking
walks
down
and talks. Yeah,
walks,
yeah.
talks,
Oh
quite a
yeah,
long take.
and walks them into the cinema. Yeah. That just sums up the love of cinema. It's fantastic. That does. But I've got to say that I think the finale on the collapsing dress circle is pretty damn good.
Yeah, yeah.
There he is, old Dick Miller. But it's great because Dick Miller was a Roger Corman staple actor.
Yeah, he was.
So he's actually
in loads of schlock.
yeah.
There's a great documentary. I'm not sure if you saw it, Brad, about Roger Corman, about the years, his career and stuff.
No, I haven't. I know it's out there. I need to watch it.
Yeah, Dick Miller's in that.
Yeah, I'm sure Joe pops up as well.
Oh,
surely,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the score underneath. You can hear that by Jerry.
Yeah.
So it's a romantic kind of theme kicking in.
Oh, this is something Jerry Goldsmith and Joe Dante just they just clicked, and I don't think it's almost like you almost feel like Jerry Goldsmith didn't have to put a lot of effort into this. He just knew what to do, and he just does it, and it's and it's just wonderful. I love the score.
I would, because of Jerry so talented as a composer. I think actually with all of Joe's movies, I would have thought it would have been quite a challenge to sort of get the score to work for his quirky movies. They're not they're clean cut straight away. This is going to be an easy ride. I think there's always something slightly challenging because he had issues with the Burbs as well, trying to get that score to work in certain areas.
she's such a one. There he is. I think Joe Dante said that one of the hardest ones for Jerry to score was Inner Space.
Right.
That he couldn't get the tone of that, and that Joe just basically tempted it with a lot of Randy Newman, the natural stuff, and said let's just go kind of Americana with it, and that's.
I think with composers, when they're a little bit lost, is to sort of give them that little. You just need to sort of go in this direction with the music. Just give them a sample.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've had this conversation many times, but I think with music right up the front, so there's always a clear idea, and other direct, and I do scores for some other people as well, and it's I'm usually working with people that feel the same way, and it's like and I've got no problem with that, because I'm a director. When I compose stuff, I know what a director wants from a composer. They really just want to create that feeling that they've got in their head. But I think this was probably a lot easier for Jerry to score because he uses a lot of his normal tropes with it, and he was always very good at getting that slightly 50s feel into things as well with the percussion and stuff.
It's interesting that Gene's clocked on to her quite early on, isn't it? I think because he's obviously been impressed with her intelligence and not fall for this crap, you know. And
well, they're kind of the two.
They're the odd ones out.
They're kind of the two odd ones out, but they're not. But they're both totally comfortable in their own skins as well. They're not. They're not trying to impress anyone.
No, and she's not. She doesn't come across. She doesn't show an interest in things like horror movies. And
stuff. No, she has no interest whatsoever.
But I think they're both concerned about what's going to. The possibility of what's going to happen. But
she's just kind of expressing what they're all feeling underneath. What they're all trying to push under the bed and not actually really properly think about, and she's just upfront about it.
Because his other friend, who's like the bullshitter, because when she starts complaining, he's like, she's a communist.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. It's really sweet. It really is a, because and I think she really warms to him there, where he expresses genuine emotion about his dad.
Yeah,
and she suddenly sees it from the other side as well. Like, she's all kind of from the outside looking in activist, and then suddenly here she is confronted with a guy whose dad's actually involved with this, and that
he seems to be acting quite calm.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that it's very clever. So Charlie Hash wrote this, who wrote Gremlins 2, and and
there's a lot
brilliant.
of the script had changed. I think it was at the beginning. It was they had like a vampire as a projectionist or something like that. It was still a love letter to sort of the movies of the past and that sort of feeling of nostalgia to these kind of B movies.
Yeah,
but I think it kind of shifted more as it. I think they've got another writer on to sort of polish it up. I think.
It's great. This stupid dumb greaser who thinks he's a poet. He's just.
Well, he got him out of prison.
Yep.
Just spouts utter bollocks. Try to get away.
Yeah, so this movie is, the end. This is the last of that golden Dante period.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Because was there a bit of a gap between this?
Then there was a gap.
And then he did Small Soldiers.
I think he did. Didn't he? I think he did the Civil War movie after this,
right?
The TV movie.
Yeah, because Tim had talked about that.
Yeah, yeah. And which I think he won awards for and stuff. I think that went down really well. But then then it's Small Soldiers, which is it's not that great. It's got some good stuff in it, and I love the effects, and I love the animatronic. I love the Stan Winston puppets and all that. So I love all that stuff in it, and it's kind of fun. But it hasn't. But it's just it hasn't got the.
I love that reaction when the kid figures out Dick Miller's one of his friends. Because I saw Joe's last big theatrical movie was at The Hole, wasn't it? Did you see that?
The Hole. Yeah,
I quite enjoyed that. I didn't despise it or anything like that.
No, but wasn't it? Didn't he? But I did the other one after that. The death, the one where his girlfriend dies and keeps coming back.
Oh, that was a very cheap movie. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
with what's his name, with Anton Yelchin. And that didn't work for me.
No.
But look, anytime he does something, I'm going to watch with interest because the guy's earned, he's earned a pass with me from this period,
Because you say you didn't see this at the cinema?
I didn't see this at the cinema. No,
it must have came and went pretty quickly. Then.
Yeah, it did come and go very quick. I remember seeing the posters for it, and I remember not knowing that it was a Dante movie until I looked closely at a poster. I went, "Oh my god, that's Joe!" And then I was like, "I've got to go and see it." I remember seeing the posters on the tube in the station. Hey, Robert Picardo.
Always has the best cameos.
Yep.
Paranoid Usher, I suppose, or manager of the cinema.
Yep. Yeah.
He's got a bloody bomb shower. He's installed. Just on like the sort of just underneath the cinema.
Yep.
Costs a fortune.
You just. It's good. It's such a love letter to this kind of showman, sort of entrepreneur, and it's totally tasteless what he's doing, but you're totally with him.
Yeah. I mean, this is something like on a small scale of like what they'd have at like an amusement park.
Yeah.
But it's all isolated into one auditorium at your local cinema for one night to experience this kind of this. I suppose like it's the early days of 4D cinema.
Yeah.
The chair will shake and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh no! Well, this is the thing. I mean, you go to now we've got this 4DX stuff, and it, and I as we've said before, I'm a total theme park nut. I love all that stuff, but same with 3D and that. That's where I want all that. When I go in a 4DX, I've gone in 4DX once, and I was just sitting there going, "This is stupid." This is literally like the B movie. This is literally what John Goodman was trying to do.
It's like my friend had seen it was either Batman v Superman or Fast and the Furious or something in 4D at the 4DX, whatever, at the, I think, Milton Keynes cinema. And he said this, he felt like he got beaten up by the chair, when he came out. It's like, it's not fun. Because those sort of things are designed for short bursts of entertainment.
Exactly. You can't
15.
Well, one of
minutes,
the big problems with it is when they spray stuff at you, but in order for the stuff to hit you at the right time, it has to spray a little bit beforehand. So you know something's coming because you hear something get sprayed at you before the water hits. I was just like, this is stupid. I just want to watch the movie.
This, as me and Brad were saying earlier, this is like one of the finest moments in the movie.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
It's just seeing the Gene interact with Woolsey. But they're both. This shows how they both share similar interests. It's like there's two kids again, chatting away. And I love this little animated thing he puts on the wall. And I forgot about that. It's a very cool,
the
very
first
cool
horror movies.
I still actually think this is still one whole take, even though they cut away.
Even though there's cutaways, Well, it might be two different takes cut together there, but yeah, this is the flea pit experience.
Yeah. Because he had in his interview with Joe Dante, and he's got this manual. I think it was like is it the Tingler or something like that?
Yeah, the Tingler.
And
it's
this really elaborate manual that cinemas, exhibitors would install. Get people to install it for these shows.
Yeah.
It just seems so ludicrous now. It would never happen. It would have to be a huge investment that they would install this for it to be used on a continuous basis.
Yeah.
Not just for a one-off thing where you think what he's installing probably would end up electrocuting people or something,
Yeah, it's insane, but it's just it's just showmanship, and I love the fact that he's obviously he's a movie producer. He's made this movie, but that he's working on a tiny budget. Because it's him doing all this, he's literally the showman. He's literally and which Jerry Goldsmith gets so well in the score, that sort of organ grinding music to make it sort of he's a traveling showman. And even though he's made a movie, he's not then sent out and other people deal with it. He goes out himself and does it.
She's got a phone in her room.
Yep. I love the...
Because he reads... That's an interesting thing, because Gene reads Monster magazines and he reads Mad magazine.
Yep. Yeah, both magazines that Dante takes a lot of inspiration from. And so the way she's all sort of reddy pink and he's blue,
thoroughly girly.
Yeah.
So I was looking through looking for places to rent, like Airbnbs, and you just click on some of them and think, "Oh, that is a really girly room," And your girlfriend's like, "Oh, that's fine." I'm like,
"Yeah,
is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Is it?"
It's got a picture of boys on the wall, like police singers, non-threatening boys.
Yeah.
Lisa Simpson reads non-threatening boys magazine. Non-threatening boys. Now this little kid here. Now, if you watch YouTube, I've got a friend called Sam Gavin. He looks just like him. This little kid, like obviously he was Sam when Sam was 8 years old.
Yeah.
It's uncanny. I'm going to take a screen grab of it and send it to Sam and go, what are you doing in Matinee? Let's to wind him up. But that kid's such a little shit.
Yeah.
If something would happen, he goes, oh, I'm telling.
Yeah, yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. He's like the worst little brother in the world.
Yeah, yeah. My sisters would do that to me. I'm telling Mum. Oh, for fuck's sake.
So this is great. This is where he
gets enlisted to be
where he picks
Ant-Man. Mant-Man, I suppose. Oh, what was the... it was great later on. It was really good comedy where you got a great cameo of the guy from Body Snatchers. Because he's in the Ant film.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Who's obviously in space.
Oh, it's great because what do we call this ant? And I think, is he called Colin or something? I can't remember. We'll get to it.
Oh, yeah, I've forgotten the name. Yeah. Yeah. No, but I love the doctor that constantly says, an accelerated or faster rate. Constantly
because he's the doctor from Inner Space, isn't he? He plays Martin Short's doctor.
The actual doctor, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was he's the dentist, isn't he? He's the dentist.
In Mant?
Yeah.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. It's like people's teeth.
What is the best Dick Miller cameo in Joe's movies?
Oh, well, it depends whether it's for, because his best role is Mr. Futterman in Gremlins, but whether I do love him as the cab driver in Inner Space. Especially where he's like, sure, I hope you didn't leave your purse back there. Yeah, yeah. I do like that.
He gets a larger role in this movie than, I suppose, in Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2 is probably his largest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where he goes to hit him and then just gives him a little tap on the cheek. I like Dick Miller's got these tattoos. You could buy that these guys are like old school hard men.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love that shot.
That's a
with
great
the big
shot, isn't
big
it?
shadow. I love this inspirational speech to the
old staff.
Have
you seen that film? I think what was it? Is it The Greatest Show or something like that? It's Peter Sellers as an old man, but he's shot in the 50s where he's a projectionist working at a cinema.
No,
the cinema's going to get closed, and
is it an Ealing film?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, let me just.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't check because my phone's off. But I do love movies that kind of deal with just the theme is set in a cinema. The setting is and either the theme is that the cinema's going to be sold, or they've got to put on the greatest kind of show they can to get people back in.
Right. Okay, that sounds interesting. I love this.
And the help file. Because John Goodman had been Ed played similar roles in other movies beforehand. I think playing like movie producers, like movie moguls, hasn't he? I'm sure he had. I do love the guy who's in Ed Wood. He's kind of just like a distant relative of John Goodman.
Right.
Johnny Depp goes to sell his movie, or no, he wants to pitch the idea to Dick, that transvestite film he wants to make.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, I mean, crap.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
This has been sold, got 3 weeks or 3 days to film this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But but he talks to Orson Welles, doesn't he, as well?
Yeah.
In But because I always remember as a kid loving the cinema scene in Gremlins.
Yeah.
That really got that sort of feeling of cinema, especially when they're like behind the screen and all that. It's just like an atmosphere to that with the this is the dream, isn't it? This is where he thinks he hears his dad.
Explosion, isn't it?
Yeah, this is pretty. This is pretty bad. Like as in shocking. Because he thinks he can hear his dad's voice.
Oh, it's his mum. His mum's awake.
Oh, is this when?
Yeah, his mum's awake.
Oh, is this when she's watching the?
Yeah, she's crying.
Or is it? No, I think it's the dream first, and then he wakes up, and then he sees her crying. Right. If I'm remembering right. Yeah. This is where.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
T2 on a budget.
Boom. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't quite expect that in this movie.
I've never had any nightmares about any bombs going off.
No, I'd have nightmares about my sort of the world is ending nightmares. Would always be like volcanoes erupting around me and things like that.
Being chased is one of my sort of reoccurring things.
Yeah, this is where she's watching the films. The music's so
this is
so lovely.
Yeah, I suppose his father's cameo.
Yeah,
I don't know who they've cast as his father. I'm sure if it cuts to a close up, if it's anyone recognisable. There we go. Yeah, that projector will be far louder than it is.
It's got to be quiet down. Got to hear Jerry Goldsmith doing his magic. This is a lovely little scene. It's like this is a scene that you can imagine people would be saying, oh, "We don't need that, cut it out." And it's like, no, you need this. You just need that. It just shows the heart going on before and then suddenly, bam, Mant. The music, it's so good.
Fight Pay TV. People already queuing.
Yeah, because TV was coming in and taking over cinema on it. Because cinema was scared of being lost.
People will be staying at home. That's why they introduced all these things like Technorama, whatever it was. This large format celluloid. Trying to introduce new surround sound formats. Before the introduction of like Dolby. They come up with everything, didn't they? They spent so much money in these kind of epic movies to sort of entice you back.
Now, it's to me, it's a testament of the genius of Robert Picardo that this is the same guy that plays the cowboy in Inner Space.
Yeah,
it's great character actors like this are these are the guys that make cinema work.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Sandbagging.
Because the kid, his mates.
Yeah, great. Bit of drama kicking off.
Yeah. I'm telling anyway.
I love that on the left they got the lobby cards.
Yeah.
All the sort of press
Yeah.
kit photos,
Yeah. Nurse's station.
It is wonderful because the kid actually hurts himself and shows
Yeah.
it to her. She's like,
Yeah.
that's horrifying.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like-
Look at the red light flashing.
I love how she's so unenthusiastic about
Yeah.
everything she
Yeah.
does. She's just sick of it. But I think she just still sticks with him,
Yeah.
Wolseley, because he
She
still loves him. It's terrible. That was it. Yeah. I think I probably would have dialed the lights down a little bit in these scenes, having a bit more contrast there. Just a bit more darkness thrown in. I think, really. Maybe that's how cinemas were back then. So they actually made a really conscious effort. To sort of
I think that the lobbies were always quite bright, and I think they're trying to, because you look, they've got all this purple light on them, and these are the right on parents.
Yeah. See, the parents here, her parents, they seem the most normal, I think.
Yeah.
Despite their kind of,
They're
quite extreme kind of beliefs.
Compared to everyone else, they come across as hippies, but really they're just liberal. They're just like, look, we like to decide, let people decide their own things.
That's like, they know she's trying to talk to this boy.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll leave you alone.
They get it. Yeah. Of course they're real. Yeah, exactly. So they're just such a contrast to him as to what parents are normally like. Yeah, parents from the future. Yeah, little. I don't know. We were going to be plagued with parents like that soon.
This is a great little moment here. It's like a TV movie kind of science lab.
Yep. Yeah. Look at it.
He's probably invested more money than he's actually going to get back in return for those ticket sales. He gave away loads of free tickets as well.
Yeah. Well, he's
all about getting the investment, isn't he?
He's using it as a promotion. It's a loss leader, I think, for him, isn't it? And because the cinema owners is coming down, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he wants to. He's not worried about making money. He just wants it to be packed, and he wants it to just come across really well. Because they start having a chat later about, where he's like, ghosts flying over the screen, dripping blood on the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all these kids weren't obviously actors or local kids in the area. I think Joe said they paid like $5 a day to sort of hang out.
Just to hang out, and
that's pretty cheap rates actually.
Yeah. But why wouldn't you? Yeah. It's so good.
The only time
atmosphere.
I've seen actually people react like this is just like the first showing of the Phantom Menace when you see that.
When Long Time Ago Galaxy Far Far Away came up.
Everyone just screams. And then
every cinema I was in, that happened.
Yeah. And then once those credits roll, you start reading those credits, silence.
And then suddenly everyone goes,
And then there was silence.
Tomovision.
So what's a Tomovision? Is it instead of 185, it's 178?
178. Then Mant comes on. Everyone goes crazy. Yeah.
Black and white? Oh.
She's so sarcastic.
Milk duds.
Here he is.
He's familiar.
Yeah.
I've seen him before in something else. When I move on this couch, it makes a fart noise. I'm not farting, people. What the hell is that? Oh, someone cares about health and safety.
Yep.
Jesus.
But yeah, again, that's a thing because the balcony's going to be unsafe. He nicks his popcorn. Oh, here we go.
Just it's basically like the Fly, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's to do with a massive
Yeah.
bug head.
Yeah.
I mean, the photography by is it John Hoare? Isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. He's so good at capturing the different styles and the decades.
Yeah.
Because we saw earlier with the sort of movie that's kind of spoofing a Disney film, live action film.
Yeah.
That was just wonderful, and seeing this the black and white.
Yeah.
And Mossy must have shot a black and white film for this as well.
Bloody brilliant. Yeah. That's a great moment. We can all remember that moment that first happened. And I love it. And this is where the cinema is like just a social gathering, you know? They got go off and have a chat now.
Yeah, well, that's what I don't like about the cinema actually, is when you've got people just running in and out.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, this is a bygone era. We can't do this anymore.
No,
especially if I'm in the cinema, I get upset.
Horror films generally, if you go during the busy periods when you know it's going to be like younger sort of teenagers, you get this kind of ruckus.
Yeah,
it can work sometimes, you know, if you're not if the plot isn't that involving,
my favourite thing about a good horror movie is seeing people leaving, like people that can't take it anymore.
Take it, yeah.
That's my favourite thing. I love that feeling of audience going they just need a break from it. They can't stand it anymore.
I always love the old story about when Alien was shown in some theatres in America, and people were being sick when the chest burster.
Yeah,
and then the cinema owner goes, you know, they go, how did you deal with all this sick then? He goes, we just cut that bit right out.
Yeah, let's cut it out of the film.
It's clean from then on.
Like... He's the doctor who simplifies everything. that look he gives him. Yeah. The Office of Unforeseen Atomic Events.
Oh, amazing.
He's standing there with his hands on his hips. You continue to metamorphose or change. It's like why? All of a sudden, it's like how this doctor knows all this. Picnic. Okay, the best gag in the whole thing is, can't you just put the insecticide? Insecticide? Where? That's the best gag in this. It's just.
Isn't it funny? See, that would be a point where you'd get sprayed with something, wouldn't it? But it doesn't appear to be anything down there that they're getting, sprayed with any sort of water. Magnified or larger. That's great.
All she wants to be doing is
making out. Yeah. The little brother's like spying.
I'll show you. That's it, Bill. Don't make me use this. And she's just like staring at it. Here we go. Start touching the camera, Joe. I love his Dutch angles. Yeah. Yeah, that's the moment. That's the moment that as I was saying in the previous commentary, that Spielberg would go around all the cinemas just to see everyone's reactions to the head, Ben Gardner's head coming out of the boat. He'd stand at the back and watch the audience's reactions.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, you would, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. When you know something's going to work so well with an audience, you just getting to experience that as many times as possible would be a lot of fun. It's just great when he's so excited about the reactions, and his wife, his girlfriend, is just completely just like,
she's just really
not interested.
She's just really like a load of old rubbish. It's all so bad.
He bit me.
See, and this is the kind of movie, the movies that this is spoofing, is the kind of movies you'd always see on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yes.
Which is one of the greatest TV shows of all time, ever.
I never... I think I may saw a couple of episodes on the Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah, it wasn't something
I love it. Well, it was... I discovered it quite late, but I discovered it when it was on the Sci-Fi Channel late at night, coming home drunk from the pubs with my mates, and we'd always scan through the program. Suddenly an old movie would come up with these three silhouettes, and suddenly I started listening to what they were saying and thought, oh my god, this is genius. And then I was hooked, and then I think I've watched every single episode now. I love it. He puts popcorn in the fish bowl. See, to me, this is perfection. This mixing of the seriousness of the Cuban Missile Crisis and this fun kids coming of age little story wrapped around movies. This is my favourite kind of balance of telling stories and mixing sort of fun, whimsical stuff with sort of serious stuff that's going on. From a kid's point of view, and
it doesn't undermine either.
No, not at all.
Either storyline. It's not like nothing's played to sort of mock anything.
Yeah,
it's all done with a sort of a sense of sincerity.
Oh, absolutely. It looks at the absurdity of the reaction, but the reactions are only absurd in hindsight. Like I said at the time, people really thought this was it.
Yeah.
Now this is what you want your mates to do, isn't it? This is a good mate. The best wingman, total wingman.
He is, yeah. Proper goose. When science fiction ends and facts begin. I love that. The impossible becomes fact, the unbelievable becomes true. Yeah. It's amazing.
Just meaningless words.
I love these kind of mad posters. I always loved it when, I think it was Scott Pilgrim, where Edgar Wright and designed all those posters for Chris Pratt. Chris Evans, sorry.
Yeah.
He's kind of action hero.
Right, yeah.
This is the bit I love.
Yeah, this is Bill.
Trying to get his attention. That's Bill, yeah. What's his name?
Bill. Bill.
I've got sugar for you.
He's actually a really cool little animatronic.
It is.
A little puppet. Is that Dick Miller in the background holding the sugar?
Was it?
Yeah. He's holding a big bag of sugar. I've never noticed that before.
Uh-oh. Rumble-rama.
The Rumble-rama is going too high. And this is where, he thinks this is it. Oh, good job, mate. Good job.
Gene told me everything.
Yeah.
I'll snog you now.
Yeah. He's just like, I don't know, whatever.
think Picardo's one of his greatest performances, as how shows how good he was as an actor, was probably Legend.
Oh, Legend, yeah.
That's the
He's
witch.
Meg what's her face?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Rob Bottin said that he had more casts of Robert Picardo's face than anybody else.
Yeah.
Shut up. Here we go. And this is the kind of thing that, like, at the end of the director's cut of Little Shop of Horrors does this.
Yeah, because I'd not seen the original the original ending for that film. Only last night, because I always obviously heard about it and stuff and saw images, but not seen it properly. And Brad showed it to you. And I was absolutely blown away how good it was.
It's astounding. If you've not seen the original ending of Little Shop of Horrors, do yourself a favour and watch it. If you love models, it's some of the most amazing model work going on.
Yeah, it's
incredible. It's incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
It's great. He just punches him.
Yeah.
It's like. It's great. Everyone thinks it's part of the show. The showmanship.
Yeah, I said he wouldn't take a punch every time.
See, I remember watching The Tingler. And,
you seen it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Years ago, like when it was
sci-fi or something. Or
yeah. Well, I was 23 when it came out. You know, it's like
not that old, Brad. Fucking hell.
And
Granddad.
No, it was on TV. It was on a late at night thing. I remember me and my mates we started watching it, and at the opening because it says you got to, you know, to not get killed by the Tingler, you got to scream, and then it just cuts to these faces coming out of the darkness, just screaming, and we all went, Jesus Christ! Like, you imagine sitting in the cinema watching that? That'd scare the crap out of you.
Yeah,
it was really effective. Oh, here we go. This is where we get our Grease 2 moment. That's so good.
That's really good.
Yeah,
he
just subtly,
and it's slowly.
Yeah, nothing, and you're just seeing that the door starts closing. There's no phone. Oh, yeah, because there'll be no one to call.
He goes, "Let me in." He's like, "Oh, dear."
This is where they think
it's going to be anyone's left. This is Adam and Eve.
This is so good. It's such a you know. I mean, we're dealing with dark stuff here. You know, nuclear Armageddon. But it's.
I'd be concerned if is there a toilet in there?
Mm.
Must be worried about.
I'm pretty sure there must be.
Yeah.
That's it. Nope, it's just the cinema rumbling away.
That's the bass.
Okay, so then he goes up to the dress circle, doesn't he? Which is going to collapse.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
And it has that, you know, has a nuclear explosion within the screen, doesn't it?
Yeah. This is very good. You wrote this, didn't you? He's loving it.
What was that?
Builders next door.
No, wait.
Yeah, we're at my place today. And then he gets down, ducks and covers. He's like,
Not going to work.
it's not going to work, mate.
Yeah, why have this bunker when you're just going to duck anyway?
Yeah. Look at these three calm people, and he's just like a panicked.
Yeah,
and then
paranoid person.
Gets his dignity back. Crowbars and hammers. That's brilliant. That's such a lovely little, everyone's
safe cracker.
Everyone's a con man. Even people that are trying to sell safety to you. People making money out of they're the real shysters, aren't they? People making money out of genuine fear and pretense of safety. It's lovely. I just love this dolly in. Dante just has this natural, like Spielberg, just this natural way of moving the camera with the right lenses on it.
Yeah. He has many moments in his movies that are just pure Spielberg as well. I think they're both
very
same
similar
cloth as well, because they've both had similar experiences of their passion for cinema and these kind of movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And both of them, I don't think Spielberg had training at university, did he? Because he went straight into sort of working at the studios, working his way up, didn't he? Perhaps a little bit like John Landis, maybe. Similar route.
John Landis
was like a postman, as it were.
Yeah, John Landis just took any job going. He became a stuntman at one point.
That's right.
I think he was a certified stuntman.
Where Lucas went to.
Yeah, Lucas was the film school guy.
At UCLA, didn't he? With,
Lucas and Coppola and De Palma. And Scorsese. I think they were all the film school guys. And there we go.
Oh, a little peck.
Little peck. First kiss. Can't beat it. Was it? They come in, there's just something John Goodman says, he looks like he's doing all right to me.
yeah.
They're just trying to make sense of this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
they're taking off their badges, aren't they?
Yeah.
What was it? What were those badges? I can't remember what they said. It was raining popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, dear. It's great. It becomes quite a tense little film now.
It's the action scene of the movie.
Yeah, but I think the set piece on the dress circle is brilliant. Worthy of any final set piece of a movie.
The Triffids. Yeah, these are all like original posters, I think. Probably.
Yeah,
probably Joe Dante's collection.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, still at it. Here we go.
God, if it was my posters, it would be bloody Superman, Last Action Hero, Masters of the Universe, and I don't know.
I think maybe it would be The Empire Strikes Back, Back to the Future. in E.T. Boom. Oop. She calls it.
A little sly comment and walks off.
Yeah. Do you have any?
It's under my bed.
Yeah. Here we go. suddenly it's gone into
It's like the end,
pitchforks and
like
torches.
Frankenstein.
Suddenly it's Frankenstein. They all got pitchforks and torches. There's one guy with a baseball bat. He's got that woman. I love the way she. Yeah, I love it. It's almost like she wasn't even told about this. She's like, oh god, that means he's got to come and get me, isn't it?
He's still the weird thing. He's still doing the act.
Still doing what
he hasn't stopped. So.
Well, I guess he wants his money, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Nope. Oh yeah, he's gonna. He's got a man dresses an ant, gets a flick knife out. It's just a bug, a big bug. There's a great moment coming up where when he runs out, gets caught by the police. It all just happens so quickly, and the police suddenly turn up, and he's.
See, cinema projection screens, you never had this huge amount of space behind the screen.
No.
Especially multiplexes, it would just be, what, I'd say a metre?
Yeah.
Just where the speakers would fit.
Yeah.
And so you could get behind there and replace anything.
Exactly. Well, you wouldn't have any lights on behind it because you'd see. Yeah, there's an interesting thing to find out if cinemas did exist with these big, because again, it's like Gremlins.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's an American design that they would have that, but I still think you wouldn't have a room like this where you put lights on behind the screen.
Yeah, no. And there's projection. There's projectors there.
Yep. Here we go.
I think it's like he got him then.
Mm. It's great. I just love it's all this dramatic. Look at how that's lit with the red light, and then you got the dramatic dialogue from the B movie going on over it. It's just it's just cinema. It's like like Tarantino, kind of copied this with Glorious Bastards. This whole idea of the screen becoming a commentary on what's going on and all that stuff. I love the way it's just now suddenly there is a dentist scene. That's what people do.
Give me back my hat.
It's all like a crab hand, isn't
boom. And love the fact they show that this is being done. This has been projected by multi projectors.
Yeah.
So it will look like ultra high def to them. Jesus, this is it.
Brilliant. The one who's just all talk. Folks.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, this is great. I love the way they come running and we're alive, and he just hugs the random guy. I mean, can you imagine being
Dragging him out. It's great.
you imagine seeing people run out of a cinema like that? You'd be like, wow, what are they watching?
God, you run over that kid. Oh,
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Yeah. And he just crashes into a car, and then bam, the police suddenly arrive. It's like, goom. And you go. In they go.
Yeah. That is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that's obviously why you had the projectors at the back, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, because I thought it was a bit strange. You don't really project it like that.
Yeah.
Normally.
Here we go. Okay, this is stunning. This is so well done. I remember watching this first time. It was really tense.
So Universal Pictures should re-release this just for matinee showings at cinemas, because they still do matinee showings at cinemas at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
They just have one film. It's usually just the most recent animated movie that's now been reduced to one screening a week.
Yeah.
And when I was a projectionist, we did have a clown do there to sort of face painting.
Yeah.
And it's only £1 it will cost to see a film with.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You want to bring that.
That shot there is where Graham Humphreys has taken the.
Right, taking the.
That's why it does look a bit. Actually, it does look a lot like the kid from The Wonder Years. There.
Yeah.
I think kids would love to watch this.
Yeah. It's so good.
And it's a perfect length for a matinee movie.
Yeah.
It's just over 90 minutes.
Yeah. Ooh. Oof.
Whoa, that is cool. What a chairs.
That is so good.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Now, is it now? I don't know. That looks like a full set.
No, I think it was a full set. Yeah. That was not a miniature.
It's not a miniature, is it?
Or 1/8 scale.
Yeah. That's a great shot.
The hair's way too long. I'll cut that hair. I cut it while she's sleeping.
Nah, there's nothing wrong with long hair.
Gets
This is where, look there. You see it. It's multi-projection, so it wouldn't have looked like a film to them. It would have looked ultra high def.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all lined up projectors. And that sort of organ grinding music. And then the screen's back to normal. The magic of cinema, ladies and gentlemen.
Had that cinema I wasn't sure.
Yeah, this is great. This is what he wants to see.
Yeah, you tell
You
it.
tell it. The size of his cigar.
Ginormous. He's like massive Cubans or
Yeah.
something.
The way she says that.
Very patronising woman,
little
isn't she?
question of taste.
Yeah.
See, now, he's describing 4DX.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's describing 4DX. And as they're talking about it, you got pay TV coming in the top of the screen there. This is great. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Such a true little line. Best lesson he could ever have. No, but you think grown-ups don't know what they're doing. That's a hustle,
They're
kid.
still making it up as they go
Yeah.
along. Yeah. Yeah, talking about multiplexes.
Yep.
Now, yeah.
Talking about multiplexes. Yeah. It's brilliant. It's so neatly done. And then the Cuban Missile Crisis is over. And it's just lovely the way this ends with just the shot of the helicopter coming over that you know his dad's on.
Mm.
I love that lighting, that Venetian blind
Yeah.
lighting.
It's interesting he's still hanging out with the kids. You know?
Yeah. Right next to the baby pram adverts. But he's, but he's the eternal optimist as well.
Yeah.
Which is, he sums up, what an entrepreneur needs to be. You know, just, not worrying about the rules, just having fun, keeping optimistic in the face of constant failure. You just keep that optimistic tone, and that's what that's what filmmaking is, and that's what entrepreneurialism is. And we've had discussions about this before about the lack of kind of support or encouragement of entrepreneurialism that there is a lot in the UK, and it's this kind of thing that this sort of it's not just a love letter to cinema, it's a love letter to just that
someone creating their own idea and going
that
out
entrepreneurism, that huckster going out and doing it and
Yeah.
doing it and it's not just about making money, that it's the fun of doing it as well. It's the fun of
the
being a
idea
showman.
of, of making whatever you've created.
Yeah.
Come to life.
And that's filmmakers. As filmmakers, you are part of a circus. You're part of this crowd that come together, and it could end in disaster or it could end in glory. You don't know, but it's always going to be worth the trip.
I always used to be so excited seeing trailers.
Yeah.
When I was younger, what was coming next? Because you couldn't go on. There's no internet to go watch these trailers whenever they
Oh,
they
well,
dropped.
that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, nowadays, I think they should actually hold back from showing trailers on YouTube, whatever. Let some trailers only be available on the big screen, just to sort of
I don't get it.
give you that excitement.
Yeah, I don't get it. There's the shot of the helicopter and then we fade out. Okay. Yeah, I know the arguments for it. I know obviously, they get so many millions of views or whatever, but does that really does that really matter? I mean, we go back to the time where you go into a cinema where the first the first time you really knew that a movie was coming out was when you saw another movie and suddenly a trailer came on.
Yeah.
Or a teaser trailer. And suddenly you were like, oh my God, that's coming out. Or you'd go into the cinema and you'd see a poster and you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh wow.
What was the sort of early trailer you saw when you were younger? And you're just like, oh my God, this is going to be incredible. Like, earliest sort of memory. Sometimes it's actually quite difficult to remember some of the trailers I saw because it's obviously just a passing kind of memory. But
yeah. To be sitting there watching a trailer and it come on, I think really the first one I kind of remember was probably Willow.
Oh right.
Like seeing like sitting in the cinema and then suddenly this trailer begins and I'm like, what's this? What's this? And then it goes, and then from George Lucas, and suddenly I was like, oh my God, and having not really knowing that movie was being made,
yeah,
because you didn't, and then the trailer would come out, and then after you'd seen the trailer, then you would start seeing it all in the, in the magazines and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I think I saw a trailer for Jurassic Park, like a teaser.
Yeah,
that was like, what is this?
Oh, I remember the teaser. Yeah, I remember the teaser for Jurassic Park. Where it was a guy with a microscope and you go into the microscope down into the mosquito. I remember that being quite incredible. Not because obviously it was that, this is pre-Jurassic Park CGI, so that mosquito was CGI. And I remember seeing that and going, oh, okay, this is what CGI is going to look like. Not knowing that it actually was going to look a hell of a lot better than that. Mm. But it was just a moment. And then the weekend that Jurassic Park was released here is one of the greatest sort of cinema weekends of my memory.
Yeah, for me it was. Yeah,
going
because it was the time I queued around the cinema.
Yeah, well, I'd got early because I was always buying tickets early, and it was at the Empire Leicester Square, which used to be my favourite cinema on the planet. It's been cut into 2 screens now, which is really annoying. And that was, I remember me going up to London to Leicester Square and the buzz that was going on. There was so much buzz in the air. And on TV, it was called Dino Weekend on TV. It was all dinosaur stuff was on. And it was just incredible. And everyone was so up for it. that was probably, I wasn't a little kid then. So that's probably the last time I really felt that buzz.
There's a little bit of Gremlins there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely one of his most underrated movies, and sort of the last of Joe Dante's kind of really good classic films.
The golden period.
It's also a similar period around with John Carpenter, like In the Mouth of Madness was like probably the year later. That was his kind of last really decent film.
Yeah.
And if you've not seen it, go check it out. It's a wonderful love letter to cinema and classic B movies.
It really is.
I'm sure you've already seen this. Listening to a commentary to a film you've not seen before.
I would have thought so. But I just have such incredible warm feelings for this movie, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, there you go, folks. That is the end of the commentary. Hope you enjoyed it. Me and Brad will be back with some more very soon.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, everyone, take care and goodbye.
Ta-da!